Hey, what is up guys, your boy Luke816 here, and this is going to be a real interesting video. Obviously I usually do just video game stuff on this channel, however with this video being, or with this movie, excuse me, being such a big release and one that I really love because I love the Star Wars franchise, and I really wanted to come out and talk about it, so that's what we're going to do today. Anyways, I just got back, literally just got back from the theater to see Star Wars The Last Jedi, and I'm going to just kind of give you my honest opinion right off the bat with a very blunt statement because I don't want to save it till the very end. And to be completely honest with you all, I was disappointed with the movie, and I don't want to make that sound like it's a terrible thing and say, oh, nobody should go see it. I still think you should go see it, but I was very disappointed with it, and I'll get more into it. But first, let me just say there's not going to be any spoilers or anything like that in this video. However, I'm definitely going to talk about like the way that I felt and how maybe like the ending made me feel and things like that. And I'm not saying like they're direct spoilers, but like if you ever had like a friend tell you about a movie and like, oh, there's a twist at the end, and then you spend the whole movie like going, well, when's the twist and things like that. That might be the case with this video, so I would suggest just clicking off if you're worried about that. But I want to talk to you guys about it, and I'm going to go ahead and jump right into it. So, after watching it, I was really disappointed, and I felt throughout the entire movie I was like, this is going to get better. You know, it was very slow paced. The absolute beginning of it was not that bad actually, and I enjoyed the beginning, and it made me feel like the movie was going to have an awesome. I thought the whole movie was going to be really good and really awesome. However, it kind of just like slowed down a lot, and not a lot of Star Wars movies are slow. But this one kind of felt like it was slowing down and just stayed slowed down. And there wasn't as much action as I wanted. There was action in there, but I would say there was like a huge lacking of action. Everything from space battles to blaster battles. It was like, where is all this action coming from? And it felt more like a sci-fi storytelling movie more than a sci-fi shooter, whatever you want to call it, sci-fi action movie. To me, in a lot of time, or throughout a lot of the movie, and I don't like that. I didn't really care for it as much, and also I just didn't feel that much like Star Wars. It kind of felt like if someone who maybe liked Star Wars but didn't love Star Wars just wanted to make a fan fiction of it and made it into a movie, and it was a great movie. However, the direction that they're taking it worries me, and that's a big deal. And I just want to start by saying this too. Well, not start because we're already 3 minutes in, but I also want to say this, that you know, the first movie, Force Awakens, I thought was a great movie. I really did, and I think it was an awesome one, but they also didn't take a lot of chances. I don't think anybody was really getting that mad at them about that. And you can tell that like Disney's intent with the first movie was to put out a good Star Wars movie, and then kind of start the beginning of their journey with it, while at the same time not really making the future of it very clear. And then this movie, I would say, is just the opposite. They started taking more risks, and yeah, there are some scenes where you kind of get a flashback of like the older movies, like, oh, this is like that movie, but the majority of the time I was just sitting there thinking like, this movie is the definition, or the, I don't know how to put it, but basically this movie is the, man, I can't think of the word, but this movie shows you the direction that Disney wants to take the franchise, and it, like I said before, it worries me. I don't think it's a good direction, and it makes me worried. This might sound a little bit like a spoiler. I'm not going to spoil anything specific, but if you don't want to hear it, just skip ahead like 15 seconds. But it makes me worried about, and I'm talking slow because I don't want anybody to hear it, but it makes me worried about what they're going to do with like the original characters, the ones from the beginning. And I'm gonna move past that because I only said 15 seconds, but that's a question that I have, and I'm worried about that. So with that, that's probably one of my biggest concerns with the direction that they're going to take this movie, or excuse me, this franchise, as well as a lot of like the pacing with it, and just the stories they're going to come up with it. I feel like they're usually going to stick to this slow pace. Feels like they're just building up to something bigger and bigger and bigger, and then something bigger never comes. And I plan to get more in depth with all of this and talk even more about it in future video in a future video, and that one would probably have spoilers, but I decided let's put this video first and give the movie some time. But I wanted to give you my initial honest opinion of it, and I wanted to also add in with it this, and that is that there's a few things about it. So this movie to me could either worry me or it can be an awesome thing, and that is either because one, I feel like I need to rewatch it, and I'm not gonna go to the theater all night just to rewatch it 3 times. It's a long movie, and I like long movies as long as the long movies entertain you throughout the entire time. But with Star Wars movies, I always feel like I need to rewatch them because there's a lot in them, and there's a lot of speculation that you can make off of them. And right now I just feel like a lot of it's just, in my mind, a lot of questions that I'm just like, what's the answer to? Give me something. And I feel like I need a lot of rewatching it to definitely get a better feel of the movie, because as I said before, it's a long movie and you miss a lot of stuff in your first watch, I guess, your first time sitting through and watching it. And then also there's a lot about, or in my mind, a lot of questions about where it's going to go from there. And before I say this, actually, if you don't want to hear another thing that might be a spoiler, and again, I'm not spoiling anything specific, but specifically talking about it in a way that you might be looking for it throughout the movie. So if you don't want to hear that, skip ahead 30 seconds. But what I want to talk about is the ending. The ending really poses a question to me, and I'm like, what's going to happen to this character, as well as what's the direction going to go? And the ending really one of the things that bugged me, because it's like, it's not necessarily it's a bad ending, but also kind of took it in a direction that I didn't want them to go. And we'll move past that because we're getting close to that 30-second mark. And again, I will get way more in depth on it when in a future video, when spoilers will come out and stuff like that. I will talk way more about it, but as for right now, we're just gonna leave it at that. So I do want to end it by saying I feel like I need to rewatch the movie, and I might actually have a much better liking to it by rewatching it, but I still kind of stand by the fact that it's a slow movie that really feels like it's building up to something, and at the end it doesn't really pay off to that build up that you thought would happen. And then on top of that, I'm worried about the direction. I can be completely wrong, and like a couple years from now the next one comes out and this whole movie was just a great setup for the next one, and the direction's just perfect and awesome and amazing, or whatever you want to call it. But as of right now, I'm worried about the direction, and that's one thing that's really bugging me about this movie and kind of hurts my ability to like it more. While at the same time, I definitely feel like I need to rewatch it, and maybe I'll like it more, but I still stand by everything I said about it in this video. Anyways guys, we're already at like 8 minutes. I just wanted to say truly thank you so much. If you got it this far, truly thank you so much for watching. And honestly guys, I hope you all have a great day, and if you're gonna go watch the movie, man, I just want to say I still like Star Wars movies, and I enjoy the movie. I like the movie, and it's just because I may sound negative throughout this entire video, but keep in mind that this is a Star Wars movie. To people like me, it's held to a much higher standard than regular movies, but it doesn't mean that's a bad movie. It's definitely a good movie, and I definitely suggest anybody to go see it, especially because it's such a big movie and it doesn't suck, you know? Like, it'd be one thing if it was a big movie and it sucked, but I feel like everybody should go out and see a big movie as long as they're at least good, and I think it's a good movie overall still. Anyways, I want to say thank you guys so much for watching. I know I said this before, let me actually officially wrap it up. Say thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day as always.